We're live. We're live. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. We're live on Instagram or Rammer. How's everybody doing today? Woo, it's been a long day for me. I'm getting tired. How you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
Mhm.
You tired?
I feel like I'm always a little bit tired.
I'm tired. Have not gotten very many steps in today. I gotta get some steps in today for sure. Anyways, how's everybody doing? We're gonna start off talking about some savage parenting. Been out in the hallway working on building the playpen for Rigel right now and trying to get that rocking and rolling. But I feel like it's fitting to talk about savage parenting with a little discussion on food because this is a relevant topic with keto, live savage, all that content. Rigel is eating the same things that we're eating, pretty much exactly, except he also is having breast milk. And I haven't worked that into my macros. But he is literally eating bricks. He's eating steak. He's eating eggs. He's eating, what's he eating today?
Today he ate sausage and eggs, and he had a little bit of my yogurt, and he had some steak and mushrooms, and
Yum yum.
he's like,
Num,
you
num.
guys are talking about food, huh?
Like food? He's got an eater on him. Look at that belly.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that
Little
belly. I got that shirt for him when I went elk
I
hunting.
know. I told you he looks like a big boy in this outfit.
I know.
I even told him the story about it today.
Yeah.
Can I hold him?
But he eats real food. You know, just because he's a youngster, a little lad doesn't mean he needs to eat, you know, nonsensical kid food that's in a pureed pouch with a bunch of added sugars. He's in like the 99th percentile of all of the growth metrics, and it's because he's eating real food. So that would be tip number one with savage parenting. Feed your kids real food. The bricks, brick pieces are out there. If we want to give them that. He drinks water. He drinks electrolytes. He does a lot of right things. Like he literally does the same consumption that we do, and he loves it. Other things as far as savage parenting goes. You want to pick one? Pick a topic.
I think there's something super savage about following your intuition. I feel like so many people are told, do this, do that, do the other, da 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 da. And I think there's something so good about just listening to your intuition about whatever choices you want to make for whatever. I feel like that has done us very well. Sometimes I ask the opinions of my friends or my family or something like that. It's a pretty rare occasion that I ask for opinions because for the most part, I have an idea of what I want to do. But if I do ask, I generally ask, like, what did you do? Not, how do I do this? It's like, what did you do so that I have all of the different ideas so that I can make my own educated decision? And I love that. Something like just even being able to stay home with him has been really big for me. But I knew that before I ever became a parent that I wanted to be able to stay home with my child or my children. That is a really big thing for me. I don't have people watch Rigel. I've had Ellen watch him. I've had, mostly Ellen watching him, like when I do a workout or something. And generally speaking, she's in the same building as me. But there's nothing wrong with that. He is 15 months old. He is still a baby. He's still little. He doesn't need to be apart from his mom. He doesn't need to be apart from his dad. There's a lot of, dad. There's a lot of people who do take their kids to daycare, and that suits them well. That's following their intuition, and that is totally fine. But something that felt right to me was following my intuition with that, and I feel like that is serving him well. It's giving him the confidence knowing that I'm always going to be here for him, and it gives us a connection that is supposed to be between a mother and a child. Like that is just the way we were literally designed to be. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Some people have made comments or whatever. And it's like, it's okay. It's okay that that's the way I do things because I'm following my intuition, you know? So, you know, things like that.
We get him
I don't
outside a
know.
lot too. He loves being
Yeah,
outside.
loves being outside.
He's always grounding. He's always running around barefoot. We were working on the fence this past weekend. He was on the tractor. He loves mowing with me. That's where we bond a lot. Like I'll strap him to me and we'll go mow the yard. He loves that. He falls asleep mowing oftentimes. But we just engage him in everything that we're doing. Like when we go to these conferences, we take him with us. When we go to these competitions here soon, he's gonna be coming with us. Like he's gonna be there as an integral part of everything that we're doing. He was on a low carb cruise. He was at KetoCon when he was 7 weeks old, rocking and rolling. So he's like a lot of people. We're probably going to go the homeschooling route in the beginning, and a lot of people have this weird stigma against homeschooling. Oh, he's not going to be, acclimated to human interaction and other people. He's around other people all the time. He's seeing how other people interact with one another. And he's just going to grow up in that environment, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, and even now, like he doesn't have play dates or anything, but there's actually evidence that says they don't actually need other interactions until they're about 2.5. So to me, there's no reason to force him to have to like have time with other babies or other adults or other whatevers. Not that I'm trying to keep him from that, but it's like I am trying to educate myself on what is it that he actually needs and following through with that. And there are some times where he's overstimulated at a conference or things like that, and we're trying to adjust things so that next year we can adjust things for him to make it better for him, because my job right now is to be the best mom that I can be for Rigel. It doesn't mean to get lost in being a mother. It means that is my job. Until he is able to think for himself a little more clearly, until he's better able to make decisions, know right from wrong, things like that, I am that person for him. And so that is my priority in motherhood and whatever other children that we plan to have. So it is, kind of being there and standing up for your child and making those hard decisions. He loves that drawer.
I know. He's got a drawer over here that's got all my stuff in. He's always taking it out. He's definitely in the stage where he takes things out, puts them up, but doesn't put them up where they belong.
I'm super, there's so many things that I'm super passionate about. And like, I don't even know how to put it into words sometimes. Even like the toys that he plays with. Like we are very specific about the things that we bring into our home, the things that we allow him to play with. He's never done those baby containers is what they're called. And they're just little saucer toys that your baby sits in and they sit there. It's like those are not actually good for them. They're not good for their hips. They're not. So I really do try to educate myself, and I think that there's something to that as well. It's like educating yourself on the things that are beneficial and not for them, not just like what's popular, what are they doing, what should they, So that I think is savage.
And he watches us work out together all the time. Like he's constantly in the gym not training with us, but watching us train. And even though he's only 15 months now, I think that will be really good because he will see us pushing ourselves, see us working hard together. And I think that translates well.
He does see, like, he will bend over and go, like, it's hilarious. Like, and I think it's really from, like, watching us do that, watching us lift the weights and making noises or whatever. I think it's just so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just allowing him, I believe hugely in the fact that children should be involved in life with us. There are so many places that it's not correct to bring your children. It's not appropriate to bring your children. It's not preferred that you bring your child. And in my mind, I feel like if we want them to be in a society and we want them to be awesome children, awesome young adults, awesome adults, we have to include them in our society and teach them the ways of how we do things. Do you think back when, or with the Indians or anything like that, like they just excluded them? No, maybe for some like meetings or whatever, but they were with their mother, they were with their tribe, they were with their people all the time. You didn't just send them off and say goodbye, we'll be back. So I think there's something huge about involving them in the things that you're doing, in eating, in working out, in the day-to-day activities, in cooking, in cleaning, in all of those things. I think it's important to keep them a part of.
100%. All
All
right, so
right,
having
let's
some of these
go
questions.
before I just keep going off.
All right, Miriam says, "What's up, Miriam? How you doing?" She says, "Hey guys, hey Miriam, how are you?"
Yo, yo, yo.
Mitzi, you're awesome parents. You're doing it right. Well, thank you,
Thank
Mitzi.
you.
Speaking as a mom of 3 and a grandma of 3, I wish I could go back and do it over again, knowing what I know now. Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know. So
I'm
once
sure
you
we're
do
going to be
know,
saying the same thing.
yeah, once you do know, you just do the best with what you know. That really holds true with nutrition. Like I'll bring people on the podcast. They'll talk about how they feed their kids now versus how they fed them before they learned, and then they beat themselves up about how they used to feed them. It's like they didn't know any better. But once you do know, act upon that knowledge.
Got a hi, guys.
Having the confidence to do what works for your family is half the battle.
Yes, I think that's huge because you will have people that say, you shouldn't do that, or why are you guys doing it that way, or you're wrong for doing it this way, or I don't like the way you do this. It doesn't really matter because it's not their family.
Yeah.
It's your family and you make the decisions for your child.
Chase, what's up, man? Chase was my old roommate way back in
Aw.
Spokane.
Oh.
Robert is a top-notch driven individual, and it only makes sense that he takes that to be a great husband and great father. Love your family. Thanks, brother. Hope all's well with you, man. Are you still swimming quite a bit, or no? Great to hear from you, man. Yes, those things aren't good for their hips or spine. My chiropractor was like, never use them.
Yes, they're terrible.
And I mean, they're super common. Like a lot of people use them. We had several people say this is what we need to get. You hang them in a doorway, you stick your kid in there, they got a bunch of blinking lights, and you just go do your own thing. I'm also not a fan of anything that acts as a distraction for the sake of simplifying your own life. Now, I totally get there are moments as parents where you need some time to yourself. And to be frank, Crystal is much better to speak on this than me because I have a ton of time alone where she does not. I am working here, so I get a lot of alone time. She does not. But her and I are in agreement in that we don't ever want to use something as a crutch just to free up and make things easier for us. Like we chose to be parents. We accept that responsibility wholeheartedly. It's not fair to Rigel to just throw an iPad in front of him and then tell him to entertain himself for hours on end so that we can be more relaxed. Like that's not fair.
Yeah, and there is a difference between letting them play with a toy or, they do get a little bit more independent. Like right now, Rigel will play with a toy for 5 minutes by himself or whatever. And that's good. But I'm not going to set him in front of a TV or hand him my phone or something like that, which some people do. I'm not judging you. It's just not what I choose to do for my family. But that is something that we are really big on. And I will tell Robert, like, I just need 5 minutes. Like I need to be able to take a shower. I need to be able to walk outside. I need to, whatever. I love that little guy, but sometimes a girl needs a break,
I don't suppose you brought the backpack with you, did you?
The backpack.
The carry backpack? We could swing by the park on the way home. Could we do that stuff?
We can talk about it after we get off this.
Looking for a walk.
So
he
Rob.
We took him to a swing set the other day, and he swung.
Oh
and
my
he
gosh! And he went down
that.
the slide, and oh my
that was
gosh,
pretty
it's so
cool.
cute.
Mitzi says my granddaughter plays on a rebounder, no bucket seats for her, and no bucket seats. What's a rebound?
Like
a
something
swing.
that jumps, like trampoline or something like that.
Gotcha.
Hey Rob, have you tried the pesto in full fat Greek yogurt?
Not on the prep, but I have in the past, and I love putting olive oil in yogurt, going for more of a savory taste. Pesto works amazingly well too.
Y'all are such amazing parents. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
What else we got? All right, so we've been talking about this for 15 minutes. You want to change topics? Or
I
you got
do want
something
to
else?
say one last thing. We never claim to be perfect parents. And that's exactly why I say I think it's wonderful to listen to your intuition. I think it's wonderful to make those decisions together. And a ton of the decisions that we've made were actually made before Rigel was born or even conceived, because you kind of need to know who your partner is. You kind of need to know, you definitely need to know.
Am I what you expected I'd be like before we had Rachel?
Yeah, but like we had those conversations. Like even when we were dating, knowing eventually we'd love to get married, knowing eventually we'd love to have kids, what is our life going to look like? I always said I want to be able to stay home with my children, and that was a decision that we made together. And I still do work, so that was something I had to bend on a little bit more, but we like it. That's the way that we've gone. But we knew who each other were before we ever got married and chose to have children, and the decisions that we would want for our children, like not having a TV in the house, or different little things. And a lot of it,
Not having a TV in the house, I think, is one of the best decisions we've ever made. I didn't grow up with a TV.
I
and
did. I really loved our TV time. Like we always watched shows and movies and things like that. And it's still a bonding thing for me, but I don't think I benefited from it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm excited that we won't have a TV. I mean, we can watch something every once in a while on a computer, but not having a TV that's just like a default, come home, prop your feet up, open a 6-pack of beer, watch Netflix all night.
Yeah.
That's something that I want to advocate for.
Yep.
All right. We got open floor discussion.
Open
Anything
floor.
that y'all want to talk about, let us know. Look at tricep. My CGM expired. I don't know why I still have it in.
You should take it out.
It just hasn't popped out yet.
They
So
don't usually
important
pop out.
to set those standards before they're born, and you're weak and want to do anything to calm down a fussy baby.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Like,
Yep.
there's so many points where you're just like, oh my gosh, I just need to give in. I just need this. I just need that. But if it's not an option and you've made that decision with your partner, you're not going to go away from what you and your partner decided on to just do what's convenient. And a lot of times you won't have it in your home. So, yeah, I totally agree. Before they're born. And yeah, I just think that it served us well, I should say.
Yes, 100%. All right, yeah, we can keep talking about parenting stuff if y'all want to ask us questions around that, or we can totally switch gears now and talk about something else. So let us know if you have anything you want to throw at us. I bought something today.
You did.
I bought a blood pressure monitor,
Monitor.
like a blood pressure cuff.
Interesting. We already have one of those. It's just manual.
I didn't know we had one, but I got one that is a Withings, like our scale, which we need to charge, by the way. So it syncs with the app there, which will sync with Heads of Health, because I'm gonna start testing my blood pressure on a daily basis
Interesting.
to see those
It's
metrics
gonna be
as
so
well.
low.
My blood pressure, according to my ring and watch, when I sleep, gets down to 31 beats per minute. That's my heart rate.
Yeah,
there.
heart rate.
But I am curious to see what my blood pressure is doing as well.
Yeah, that'll be good to have. Mine has always been
Your
low.
blood pressure, or your heart rate.
My blood pressure has always been low.
Yeah, and like I was listening to a podcast with Peter Attia, and he's a big advocate for testing blood pressure as a marker for health and longevity. And I'm just kind of curious to see what my blood pressure does in the context of a prep versus what it's doing. You know,
It'll
when
be
I'm
nice
eating
to
more
have
maintenance.
an automated one, like not a manual one, because then I
Yeah.
have to do it every time.
And the blood pressure cuffs, like they're kind of finicky. And if you go to the hospital and you get your blood pressure done, which is pretty much the only place that most people get it done, like you're walking around, you're in a waiting room,
Yeah.
you're getting up. Like to do
They
it
never,
right,
yeah.
you should be seated for 5 minutes doing nothing. And then they put the cuff on you. Not sitting in the waiting room and then getting up and then them testing you, but you should be seated for 5 minutes
Yeah.
before they ever test you.
Usually you get into the room and then like the medical assistant or the nurse or whoever greets you sits you down. They'll take like your temperature or whatever, but they never give you enough time. And most people are crossing their legs. They're crossing their legs. They're moving around, whatever. Your legs should be flat on a surface. and not crossed. And I mean, there's so many things, but they don't tell you that. They're kind of just like, oh, let's do this and that, and they just kind of like running you through the typical. But
Or
yeah,
a good practice is to take it twice.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
sure that it's accurate because back to back, it should be pretty much the same.
And I read the reviews on the Withings, and the Withings was rated as one of the most accurate. And it's more accurate to do a manual test than one of the digital automated ones. But realistically, I'm just going to do a digital automated one because I want it to sync with my data, and I'm not going to likely take the time to do it manually. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to start playing around with that as well.
He's gonna keep asking. He's asking for milk.
You asking for milk? You want some milky milk? All right. What else? Are you gonna give him milk right now?
No, not right now.
Whip the boob out. Anyways, what else we got? Anything else in the pipeline, y'all? Any other questions? He's 15 months now. Somebody asked me that, and I told him it was 14 months, but I guess he would be 15
months in like a few days.
Yeah.
Like in like, I don't know.
Which is kind of crazy. You know, with like your phones, it'll show you a reminder of, hey, here's a picture from a year ago. He has grown so much, and like everybody tells the parent they're gonna grow so fast, you're gonna blink your eyes, they're gonna be twice as big, and it's true.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't cried. Like I haven't cried and been like, oh, I miss him as a baby. Like even if at his first birthday or anything like that. Like I have not been sad that he's not littler yet. And maybe that'll come, but I'm so loving every stage that he's at that it's like a sweet memory to remember when he could only do this. But like, it's so cool to see him doing different things now that it's like, I wouldn't wish that you weren't doing those things anymore.
Yeah, I feel like it's very, I feel very fortunate that we don't have to send him to daycare and that you're able to come to the compound on a regular basis. And I'm able to see him pretty much whenever I want. You spend all the time that you do with him. Like, I don't feel like we've missed any, hallmark moments, so to speak.
Yeah. And I will say, like you said, it's what do you say, a privilege? It's a
blessing.
Blessing, yes. But that doesn't come without some sacrifice, Like I don't get a lot of alone time. I don't work as much, so I don't make as much of an income, so I don't spend as much, things like that. Like there are, buddy, I'm here today. There are some sacrifices that are made to make those things. Oh my goodness!
Right. He's thirsty. So,
yes, we are blessed. We also made these decisions along the way, and you can save to make sure that you can do this. You can work from home. Like that. I mean, it's not easy, but I try to find the time to do these things. Okay, I can move off to the side.
All right, well, we got to go anyways. So, Roger, you're cutting the live short because you're milk thirsty. You little milk monster, you. But we appreciate y'all tuning in. Always a pleasure chatting with you on Alive at 5. Hopefully, what are we going to talk about next week? I'll get my blood pressure cuff this week. So next week I will have had a few days to test it. So next week we can talk about blood pressure.
Next week we're talking about the meat.
The meat. All right. Next week we're talking about the meat, and then we'll talk about blood pressure. All right. We're talking about Crystal's meat because Crystal is competing this weekend. Also, one more thing. Highly encourage y'all to keep your eye on the newsletter for Keto Brick this weekend because we got some exciting stuff happening on Sunday with Keto Brick business. So don't want to miss that. Just gonna throw that out there. We'll make an announcement on Friday. But yeah. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We love y'all to death. And we will see you next week. So y'all take care. Toodaloo. Ta-ta for now.
Bye-bye. Can we end that one?